Namaste. Um, this module, we will examine the most popular condition. Okay, it happens quite often. Um, we assume a lot when things happen, issues happen, problems happen. That's by our nature, basic nature. How do we break this? How do we sort of break this? I think we'll take a nice example and an exercise to understand this, and we'll try to uncover, uncondition ourselves in this. Okay, uh, let's take let's understand this first. So there is let's assume a standard situation. It happened to me. It happened to my son. It happened to my daughter also. Okay. So the situation is that it's your birthday and one of your close friend forget to call you to wish you. It could other way also. You have a close friend. It didn't call you also on his or her birthday possible. You assumed, that there are many things happen, okay, like this. So let's understand what we assume. It is really based on the feeling that arises, the feeling arises. Just for the sake of understanding it, anything that is a feeling coming out of feeling is a mind, and anything that is logic based is intellect. Okay, so these are the two parts to this: assume based on the feeling, a perception, or a conclusion based on limited understanding of the situation. We conclude quickly, right? Act of determining something based on a logic or a value is an assessment. So this is a logical part of it. We can call it as the conscious part of it. Subconscious part of it is a feeling. So take the situation. Let's try to understand it. Okay. So when this happens, you have a feeling. Okay. No matter how busy he or she should have called me and wished me a birthday. You have an anger also. I never forget. But how dare he didn't call me, and I will teach him a lesson on his or her birthday. Okay, that's anger part of it. Now, the other way to look at it is maybe just cool down a bit. I wonder why he did not call me. There may be some difficulty. Maybe let me call him and find out. Why, that's other way of looking at it. This is assessing, thinking. There may be something would have happened, something. Hence, let me go back. But it doesn't stop. Again, the feeling says, why should I call him or her? She should have called me on my birthday. The ego arises and tell you, oh, let me not call. It will try to prevent you. So this agitation keep going on. The agitation is the mental agitation happens. It happens to everybody. How do we sort of manage this, right? The one primary thing to do is go to the source of the agitation. What is the source? The friend didn't call. Let me call the friend once. Let me check out. Okay, find the real facts. You can speak to the friend. Oh, this is my birthday. Look like you've forgotten. I was expecting a call from you. You are my dear friend. And then find out what happened. And then you revisit your assumption. It might so happen, whoever the friend you believed may not be a good friend of you. Maybe other way also. The good friend of you apologized. Oh, I should have called you, and all that, come back. So revisit the assumption. You get the truth and clarity. The agitation will go away. So, assuming versus assessing. There could be many situations. It's important to give the room for assessment. I know the feelings will arise. Let the feeling subside a bit. Prabhuji used to tell story on this about a Buddha and his disciples. They used to roam around the country, those days in the hot Bihar belt. In summer, they were so thirsty. They went to a water stream close by. Before the group tried to drink water, there is a bullock cart quickly passing by the stream, muddying the water. So the feeling arose even in Buddha's disciples. They were cursing the bullock cart and the muddy water. Then Buddha said, why don't we sit down a bit, few minutes. They were sat for 5-10 minutes. Again the mud settled, the water, you have the clean water again floating on. They drank water. So for the feeling to subside, give it some time. Important, give it some time. Recognize the feeling, give it some time. Then once you have a clarity, the clarity sets in, move ahead. Okay. So this is the nature of assuming versus assessment, which is more intellectual. Okay. Let's look at the way mind works. Okay. Just give you read this passage. I will give a few seconds. Read your package. This passage. It goes like this. According to research at Cambridge University, it doesn't matter what order of the letters a word are. The only important thing is that the first and the last letter be in the right place. The rest can be total, and you can still read it without a problem. This is because human mind does not read every letter by itself, but the word as a whole. So the beauty of the mind is here. The beauty of the mind is it assumes the word out of jumbled word. So this is the beauty of the mind. It can assume quickly, and capacity to assume things out of limited information. That's the beauty of mind. And at times, be aware of this. It can jump into conclusion quickly. It assumes and jumps into conclusion. So that's what happened. Earlier example. At the same time, mind is a beautiful tool. Use it judiciously. So it's a great tool. All right, let's recognize it, move on. And what we insisted upon is here. This is for your contemplation. So it is about the intellect, how we have to utilize. When you are assessing, how to utilize intellect. Great direction from Sri Krishna. What Krishna said is pravuttincha nivrittincha karya karye bhaya abhaye bandhan mokshancha ya veti buddhisa partha sattviki. How sattviki means the intellect said to be in a nature of goodness when it understands what is the proper action, what is improper action. It is able to discriminate between the right action and the wrong action. What is duty, what is not duty. what to be feared, what not to be feared, what is binding and what is liberating. When you do the right action, it liberates you. Okay, and for you to understand how to utilize your intellect for assessment, this is a summary, and couple of questions back to you. You need to think through this and send the answer back to me on the chat session. Is assumption binding? If so, why? Is assessment liberating? If so, why? So, this answer is clearly out there in the translation in front of you. Read through it, give it 30 seconds. So, this concludes the assess versus assumption. You can get back.